la la, what does a Kardashian eat on keto? Hey folks, my name's Allie. Let's get started. So an article actually popped up on my Google homepage that said Kourtney Kardashian was going keto for the summer. The article itself linked to Kourtney's own website, and it's called Push. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but she has a lifestyle blog website, and in one of her articles she describes how she goes keto. So today I thought that we would take an analytical look at Kourtney Kardashian's approach to the keto diet. Just FYI, I have my handy dandy laptop with me. So on her website, she's got different tabs, and under health and wellness, she has an article that says why Kourt is back on keto. Now this article was actually written by her. It says by Kourtney Kardashian. The other articles on her website are just written by random people. So at the beginning of her article, she mentions that she has done the ketogenic diet in the past, about 2.5 years ago. And she was on that way of eating for about 2 months. I do like how in the beginning of her article, she goes on to describe the ketogenic diet, why it works, what ketosis is, and how it was started to combat epilepsy. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this article or any other ketogenic videos, the ketogenic diet is just a lifestyle where you lower the amount of carbs that you consume so that your body is forced to run on fat rather than sugar, since carbs are sugar. So if your body's running on the fat and if you're eating at a calorie deficit, it's going to burn the fat from your body. So although it started as a treatment for epilepsy, it's actually become a very big weight loss and fitness craze for people who want more mental clarity. The ketones feed the brain. For people who want to lose weight, they're eating that body fat off of their body by being in a state of ketosis rather than, running off of sugar that they consume. So Kourtney here says that she first started keto when her doctor recommended it to her because she had high amounts of mercury and lead in her system, and that the ketogenic diet was a good way to detox. Now, let me just say here at the beginning of the video, I'm not a fan of the word detox because I feel like lots of people try to sell you things that say detox on them when your body detoxes itself pretty well. So just remember that because something says it's a detox, that doesn't mean that it might make you any healthier or clean out your system any better than your body can do on its own. Just my 2 cents, but let's continue. Now, she says that she would check her blood sugar and ketone levels every morning to make sure that she was in a state of ketosis. And I'm sure if you had blood strips, or maybe there's a breathalyzer, I think, out there, the pee strips are known not to be that reliable. So I would say, if you're doing this on a budget and you don't want to have to go spend money on some sort of analysis for your state of ketosis, I would say just make sure that you're eating less than 20 net grams of carbs per day. And get most of those carbs from vegetables. So Kourtney also mentions that in the past she had a really good experience with keto, that she liked the diet and that it worked for her. So just remember, some people are going to use the ketogenic diet as a lifestyle or more of just a temporary thing. I'm not going to sit here and judge her for not doing keto for the rest of her life. Some people use it for certain reasons, and whatever your reasons are, I'm sure that, if it works for you, great. So she's going to start her ketogenic diet again this summer. So her plan is to eat minimal carbs, no grains, beans, or legumes, and that sounds pretty keto to me. And she says that she's also going to focus on fresh vegetables and leaner proteins, which I really agree with. On keto, we are all about the high fat. It's kind of like this, big legend about keto. It's what we advertise with, all the bacon, all the cheese, all the, steak you can eat, all the really high percentage fat ground beef. But remember, if you're looking for weight loss, you do need to be at a calorie deficit. So that means, so that you can get your protein amounts that you need, your protein goal, you might have to actually check out some leaner meats so that you can stay, under your calorie deficit while still getting your protein. So just remember that keto does not always have to be super duper high fat meats. Just my 2 cents, throwing it out there. So she has a whole section talking about intermittent fasting, and I've done intermittent fasting. Lots of people on keto talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting. And she says that she wouldn't eat for 14 to 16 hours after dinner. And that's, pretty much what I do or did a little while ago. So I'd eat a pretty big dinner and maybe eat some food around dinner time within a 3-hour period or so. But then I wouldn't eat again until the next day at dinner time. So you're fasting for the rest of the day. And this helps a lot of people with weight loss because it just kind of takes food off of your mind. You know, you're not snacking throughout the day. You're not just eating because it's time to eat lunch kind of thing. So I do think that intermittent fasting can be a tool. Now, I've done it in the past and it worked for me for about 6 months, from about January to May or June. But when I did it first starting out, you know, a couple years ago, it didn't work for me. So you might want to try intermittent fasting and see if it works for you. If it has no benefit for you and you're just miserable without eating lunch or, you know, skipping some meals, then I would say go back to what works for you. Remember, everybody's going to have a different approach to their ketogenic lifestyle. There is no one right way to approach the ketogenic lifestyle. The only thing that is necessary is that you are in a state of ketosis. And that just means that you keep those carbs down so that you run out of sugar, so that your body starts running on fat. I feel like I restate myself all the time, but you know, some people don't catch every video, although you should. So then back to intermittent fasting, she says that she would do 1 day a week, a 24-hour fast. I've done that if I've been bad and like I ate just like, you know, 3,000 calories in one day and like the next day I'm not hungry at all. So if you're not hungry, remember, don't eat. And she says that for these fasting days, she would drink bone broth. And that's something that's really big in the ketogenic community. Bone broth has all of these, it's supposed to have salts, I believe, you know, your electrolytes and some nutrients. But honestly, I've never made bone broth. The only broth I've drunk on the ketogenic diet is like a bouillon cube kind of thing when I was sick. So your mileage may vary. You don't have to do the bone broth, but some people do, lots of people do, and they recommend it. So I do like how she goes into this intermittent fasting section talking about how the human body was made to have these stretches of fasting periods. And I agree. You know, if you look back at our ancestors, we were hunter-gatherers. So, you know, it might have been a couple days before you found your next meal. So the body was, you know, it makes sense that the body can have those periods of fasting. And I do think that it's kind of a good idea now in modern times to kind of reduce and to kind of reset our mental approach to food. You know, for me, if I do have just like a day where I don't eat much or I don't eat anything, it does just kind of reset you a little bit. Now, she does go into saying that she uses this collagen powder in the morning and she drinks it with water on an empty stomach. And I don't know anything about that. I take, you know, a generic women's multivitamin. It's got all my minerals that I should be getting, you know. It's got like all the women's stuff for hair and nails too. So that's what I've been doing, and I have seen hair regrowth because of that. If you've checked out any of my hair loss keto videos, I talk about what I've done to try and regrow it, and I think it's working. Basically, you need your protein, and you should just take a multivitamin to make sure you're not missing out on anything. So she talks here about her collagen powder. I don't know if that works. I've never tried it. But I do want to mention here for folks who might be new or folks who may not, you know a whole lot about the ketogenic diet and lifestyle, is that if you were just adding fat and keto products to your diet and you're not changing anything else about your lifestyle, the way that you eat, basically, you probably will not see any change in weight loss. In fact, if you're just adding high fat to your diet and not changing anything else, I bet you will gain weight. So remember, there are lots of keto products out there, and I'm a proponent of more natural keto. I'm not saying it has to be organic. I'm just saying eat food rather than supplementing in products. I think that food is just naturally more fulfilling, and it's just, I don't know, I find more enjoyment from eating, you know, a hunk of meat with a side of roasted vegetables than I do like a milkshake or something. But again, there's no right way to approach it, but just remember, if you're just adding products without changing anything else, you might gain weight, and it's very, very possible, and I bet that you would. Okay, sorry, I had to have my spiel. I want people out there who are like me as like a young girl or a young boy or whatever, as a teenager who struggles with their weight, to have real information from somebody who knows the experience. I craved that type of information, that truth about how to lose weight so much. So that's why I always try and push it out there. So then she goes into a list of foods that she avoids, and processed foods, which, yeah, I mean, definitely starting keto, I've never eaten more, you know, just fresh foods in my life. I used to eat lots of freezer food, lots of fast food, But once you get into the groove a little bit, yeah, you eat lots of vegetables and lots of meats. She's avoiding sugary foods like honey, soda, fruits, and things like that. Grains and starches as well. She's avoiding all fruit except for berries, which I just avoid all fruit. I don't know. I'm like, berries aren't my favorite thing, so I'd rather spend my carbs in other ways. Beans and legumes she's also avoiding. Now, I do like a good green bean. And, you know, if I'm in a Mexican restaurant and I want a little spoonful of some refried beans, I'm gonna eat it. I'm just saying. So, you know, again, it's however you want to spend those carbs. And that's up to you. She's avoiding root vegetables like you should. So like potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, and parsnips. Now, I do on occasion eat carrots, you know, like with some ranch dip. But, you know, again, I make sure it fits into my day. She's being wary of condiments and sauces. Yes, definitely. Like barbecue sauces, ketchup, things that have lots of sugar in them. My favorite condiments are hot sauces and mustard and just like dry rub spices. So if you're on keto, look out for those types of condiments because they're good. They add lots of flavor to your food and they're not very carby. She's also avoiding unhealthy fats like processed vegetable oils and mayonnaise. I don't use a whole lot of vegetable oil. I use olive oil sometimes, but usually I just like saute things in the pan with its own fat. So if it's a chicken thigh, I use the fat from the chicken thigh. That's just me. But I do use mayonnaise. So, you know, again, your mileage may vary. So she's also looking out for alcohol. So yes, remember that even if, you know, you choose a zero carb alcohol like a hard liquor, like vodka or gin or whiskey or whatever, it still has calories. So yes, even though it's zero carb and technically keto, you can still gain weight if you consume too much alcohol. And she says here that wine throws her off of her ketogenic groove kind of thing, but I like wine and I fit it into my day. You know, remember a glass of wine is about 3 to 4 grams of carbs. And you know, some people do the low carb beer as well. I haven't had that. That for me, that's kind of like crossing the line because I just used to drink that before keto. So now that I'm on keto, I don't want to go back to it. So again, it's just going to be based on how you approach things. But if you like beer and you can find a low carb one and that works for you, great. So she goes into her meal plan about what she'll eat for her 3 meals throughout the day. And so she'll start her day with breakfast with an avocado smoothie, which I've never had an avocado smoothie. So usually she'll sweeten it with honey or dates, but she'll use stevia instead when she makes it on keto. And it's actually got MCT oil, bone broth powder, and blue-green algae. So, you know, I'm a girl from the southeastern United States, okay, you guys? Like, I don't think I want to be putting algae in my food. You know, an avocado smoothie sounds good, but I think I'd sub in other things, you know, like some heavy whipping cream, maybe some ice, I don't know. Or maybe some, like, you know, extract of some kind to make it taste good. These California people, they're a little crazy. If you're from California, I'm sure you're very kind, though. No offense if you're from California, it's just, you know, we're just a little more traditional down here, you know. My sister moved out to California, so I don't hate anybody out there. She likes it, so. And, you know, I've never tried it, so I can't really hate on it. It's just, I find that for me and my lifestyle, simple ingredients are best, you know. Sometimes I'll branch out a little bit and try like a new spice or something, but you know, just, I usually keep my ingredients kind of, you know, low key, down low, like your everyday stuff. So again, please don't be afraid that you have to try all this crazy new stuff because your favorite celebrity's promoting it or trying it, or even like a keto guru is promoting it to you. Remember, just, you know, do what'll work for you. That is the key to sustainability. So for lunch, she says that she'll usually have a protein-based chef's salad. Yep, that's a great option. You know, salads or vegetables. You got a high lean protein. That's great. Keeps your calories low, but you get your protein goal. That's awesome. Now, personally, I find that I'll eat a very small lunch just to kind of get me through the day now that I'm not intermittent fasting. And I actually find that I do not like to consume my vegetables in the middle of the day. I prefer to have those all at one time at night. I don't know. And I've heard Keto Connect say this, I think. Matt from Keto Connect said that he feels like it slows him throughout the day to eat vegetables for lunch. And I feel the same way, kind of. It kind of bloats me, and I just don't like that feeling when I have things to do throughout the rest of the day. So I do save my vegetables for dinner time. So for dinner, she describes clean, simple meals, which I agree with. You know, she says she'll eat leaner meats like chicken, some salmon, and like a side of vegetables as well. She likes the cauliflower rice and the broccoli rice and all the stuff, you know, we can make as a substitute on keto. And that falls with what I do too. So, you know, we kind of eat similar there for dinner. Like I love a big hunk of, you know, chicken, a big hunk of steak, a big hunk of fish, with a big side of vegetables. And then she says that she tries not to snack, which I kind of agree with, you know, unless you're just like starving and you're low on energy and you just need something, you know, and it doesn't really happen all the time. I would say, yeah, have those snacks around. But if snacking is something that gets you in trouble, try not to. Just a suggestion, you know, try and get throughout your day with just your meals and see if that works for you. Because I'll tell you what, you know, if you got some snacks lying around, you might run out of calories or carbs for the rest of your day. So for her, although she tries not to snack, she says that she'll drink some green tea or some bone broth. So no matter what your opinions are on the Kardashian family, I actually do like this article from Kourtney on the ketogenic diet. You know, I like how she keeps it simple and she doesn't go into all the crazy stuff about keto. You know, she's not mentioning pork rind nachos, which, hey, you know, I started out on stuff like that and like, you know, bacon and all like the fun stuff. But she keeps it real, I think, here. And she lets you know that she's eating those leaner meats because she's a small girl. If you've ever seen her on TV or whatever in a magazine, those girls are tiny, besides Chloe. So, you know, they can't consume a lot. So they have to eat those lower calorie meats. You know, if you're a big 6'3" guy, yeah, you might be able to consume the higher fat meats. But if you're a lady and you're petite, yeah, you want to hit your protein goal, but also you want to stay below your calorie deficit to lose weight. So just keep things like that in mind. So I really did like this article from Push. And I think that it's a true, you know, perspective on the ketogenic diet if you're looking for weight loss. Well, folks, I want to hear from you. What did you think about Kourtney's approach to the ketogenic lifestyle? I thought it was pretty good. It sounded, you know, logical to me. But what did you think? If you are not a fan of the Kardashians, do you still think it's great that the ketogenic diet is being promoted by the Kardashians? You know, I'm kind of on the fence there. They do promote lots of things that I don't agree with, but at the same time, they have the influence to promote the things that I do agree with. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Speaking of all the fun food, if you do enjoy a good strip of bacon in the morning with your breakfast and you'd like to have free bacon for life, you should definitely try ButcherBox. ButcherBox. It's the box from your butcher delivered straight to your door. If you use my link down below to purchase your first box, you will get a lifetime supply of free bacon from ButcherBox. That deal is good through July 7th. It's extended from my last video. So don't forget to hit that link down below. Now, I use ButcherBox for a whole cooking series. I'll link that down below too, but their meats are great. I mean, way better than the stuff that I get, you know, from my local Walmart at the grocery store. They're the only company that I have been an affiliate with, and that's because I actually do promote real foods, you know, and I like their products. So I would definitely give them a try. And remember, free bacon for life! If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That would help me out so much. And if you'd like to find me on social media, I will link all of that down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Allie. Have a good one. Bye!